Well, one thing is for certain, gaming is great together. Rather it's online or side by side, beating our friends and family in video games has become one of the world's favorite pastimes. And what better way to end an episode about the power of friendship than with our top 10 favorite multiplayer games of all time? Kev, can you kick us off with number 10? What do we have on the top 10 for this week?
Sports. Well, Madden, 2K, FIFA, and any sports game. Sports, am I right? There's nothing like shitting on your friends in the original of competitive play, sports games. Even myself, as a former collegiate athlete, find myself getting frustrated with when I get my ass busted in 2K, but I keep coming back because I love the game, Jake. I love the game. If
It's
your
in the
team
game.
sucks, it is in the game. If your team sucks so you're not athletically adept, or if you are, sports games are your phantasm. Whether you're catching these hands or giving someone buckets, this genre is not going anywhere anytime soon, as multiplayer is the wheelhouse in which the sport game thrives. Because competition. Jake, you are a Madden god, I've heard. Uh, are you surprised that this is on the list, or is this just a no-brainer?
Oh, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, sports like bring. I think sports brings everybody together in some sort of way, and
Right.
it really just depends on what you consider a sport. I think I've started to lean into esports are real sports. I get kind of like
Yeah.
pissy whenever boomers try to
Yeah.
get mad on
I-
ESPN post about
but they watch
Fortnite or
golf.
anything, Yeah, and then they'll watch fucking golf, or and I mean, this is gonna maybe ruffle some feathers. Fucking tennis or any
Yeah.
of the sports that are like in the Winter Olympics. Like, come on, those are sports, but like, Fortnite can't be one. Come on, like curling can be a sport,
Yes,
but we
curling.
can't make,
That's perfect. That's a perfect
but
example.
like, like we can't make a dope ass first person shooter like Apex into like an
Yeah.
official like esport in a way, like, or can't cover them in the same manner. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. But,
Yeah, it is.
as far as sports games in general, Madden, your FIFAs, your 2Ks, like, honestly, I believe that they're always going to be a huge part of multiplayer, just the multiplayer lifestyle, especially if you have a group of friends that are into those type of games. And growing up in a small town in Alabama, everybody loved NCAA. It didn't matter if you
Oh
played video
God,
games or not. You played NCAA,
that's
and
true.
so
That's true.
because you had to get Bama or you had to get Auburn.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you're
You were.
watching this on stream instead of listening to it on the podcast, I don't know why my camera's moving. Cave doesn't know why my camera's moving. So just buckle up and enjoy the ride
Oh
because it's gonna
wow.
just
Oh.
keep going crazy. But but anyway, thanks, Kev, for bringing us in at number 10 on our
Yeah.
countdown, which is essentially sports games in
Yeah.
general. But Bronwyn, you have a oldie but a goodie here at number 9. What is number 9 on our top countdown of our top multiplayer games of all time?
Number 9 is Gauntlet Legends, one of my nostalgic loves games of all time. So let's get into this. The Gauntlet series started in 1985 as a fantasy-themed hack and slash arcade game on the Atari system, and it's noted as being one of the very first multiplayer dungeon crawlers and paved the way for a lot of games to come. Fast forward over a decade to the release of Gauntlet Legends, which vastly transformed the gameplay and experience by bringing this world to you with the evolution of console gaming. Available on the Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and Dreamcast, you and 3 other friends could sit on your couch together and seek out the scattered runestones to prevent a corrupt sorcerer Garn from using their powers to summon demons. What sets this game apart to me is the cooperative nature of it. Rather than battling your friends out, you're working together to make it through these dungeons. There's a lot of communication involved, from moving the map together to like strategizing your abilities, even things like getting health points. Like if you notice somebody else is low on health, they'll be like, hey, like just found this meat, like go eat this meat, and they'll run over. So that was really great. I have such fond memories of playing this with my 2 older brothers because it was one of those rare games that we could actually all play together instead of me just having to sit on the couch and watch them like solo play a game. Like I got to be part of it, and that was really awesome. And each one of these players has really unique attributes. There's warrior uses their strength, the wizard uses magic, archers have more speed, so they might be like running ahead in the fight. Valkyries are really good at defense. So you are able to kind of pick and choose who you play as, and that's like your superpower for your team. In 2000, the game was later remastered and brought onto the GameCube as Gauntlet Dark Legacy, adding and building to the world with new character options, levels, even music. So this game is really fun to me. I know, Jake, you were saying you aren't too familiar with it, but I see Kevin's reaction. It looks like you played back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when we were going through this and you mentioned, I was like, Gauntlet Legends, what the? And then it is in there because like this is not only is like a classic arcade title, but this is like multiplayer. This is kind of, in my opinion, what sort of set the groundwork for games like for any sort of MOBA game, which I don't want to spoil the list, but we'll get to it later. You know, like I just remember, I think I was either the archer, or I was the dwarf. Like I just remembered this game specifically just being in an arcade and then being upset because I didn't have any more quarters to play it. So I never finished it. I know it came Dreamcast and PlayStation, but I only played it on the arcade cabinets.
When Braun first mentioned it, I was like, "Oh my god, it's genius! We definitely have to have an old arcade game on the countdown because, while I couldn't remember this one in particular, there are so many arcade experiences that were amazing for multiplayer. The Ninja Turtles arcade game is one of the ones that I think of where you could get three homies together and just really thrax fucking Shredder. And so, like, it. If you had the coinage.
That's right.
But that's it's funny that one of my first almost co-op I would say multiplayer experiences where we were all working together was in the arcade. A lot of the shooters where you could work Time Crisis, things like that.
Hell yeah.
And so there's so many awesome ones, and this one I don't know how it slipped my radar. So next time I'm in an old school arcade, which hopefully after COVID's said and done, I can be back in one because I love visiting those things. I can get a game or two going. So
yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, that takes us to number 8 on our countdown, which is Overcooked. Overcooked. This game will put your communication and cooperation to the test. It will also test your relationship, so you have been warned. If you've never worked in a kitchen, well, this is the closest thing to it. If that kitchen was on fire and rats were actively trying to steal your onions. If you can communicate effectively and crush a level, you'll ride a high like none other, just to have it come crashing down at the next level with a bunch of floating fucking kitchens. The more the merrier when it comes to this game. And if you're playing with 4 on the couch yelling at each other to put fish in the fryer, that's a successful Friday evening to me. Either you get the chance to serve up some chaos, wait, either of you guys ever have a chance to serve up some chaos with Overcooked?
I haven't, no.
I haven't either, but I keep hearing about this, and I need to play it. Like, my friends keep talking about. But every time I talk to somebody about Overcooked, or when they're playing it, they're always frustrated. So that's what kind of scares me. But it also entices me too. I'm like, what's so frustrating about this fucking game? It looks cute and adorable.
It is the Dark Souls of co-op cooking games.
Really?
That's the only way I can describe it.
Real life stresses me out already. There was another non-co-op cooking game. I think it was for the Nintendo DS where you use the stylus to slice things. It was called Mama's Kitchen or something. And yeah, cooking games can be fun for sure. And the co-op one, man.
Yeah.
Dude, this one it'll put your communication skills to the test. If you've ever worked in a kitchen, you know that you have to communicate. You have to tell people dropping fries, dropping chicken, dropping this, cutting that, doing that. You have to let people know hot pan behind you. You gotta you have to communicate at all times, or either you're going to completely fuck up, right? And so that's what really makes this game interesting is they've somehow encompassed that, but then made it completely off the rails because your kitchen can catch on fire at any time. Like I said earlier, there's little rats that'll come and try to take your stuff every now and then. You'll be on floating rafts where you'll fall and you'll drop the food and then you can't serve anything. And so it is actually pretty stressful game, no lie. But like I said, if you can get a level down with a homie, you feel unstoppable and you feel like you literally just crushed it with communication wise. I definitely think there should be studies done on this video game one day in the future, especially within communication classrooms.
Yeah.
And so, but that brings us to number 7 on our countdown. Kev, what do you have for us at number 7?
Yeah, speaking of games that someone could use as a study, we have Among Us. I have a suspicion that this game isn't going anywhere anytime soon either. And being that it's been out for 2 years but has only existed since the last 2 months, it's obvious why this game made the top 10. From betrayal, lying, backstabbing, scheming, and the ruining of friendships and relationships, Among Us has eerily long downloaded and uploaded its way into our hearts. While it's left to be seen whether or not this game can sustain its current level of popularity and hype, the impact that this game has had on our society and our pop culture cannot be left unsaid and will be remembered, i.e. AOC stream. Even if this game isn't one of the top streamed games on Twitch in years to come, I will still see it as a viable option to be in the rotation for a house party game like Uno or Monopoly.
Ooh,
Guys, do you think it's too soon to add Among Us to our list, or is this pretty apropos?
I think that it has a place among the rest.
Oh.
Same. I think it has a place among us.
As well. Better. So many puns.
But yeah, no, it's definitely belongs on the list because I think it's a great multiplayer game and a great multiplayer experience, and it's essentially one of the great like in-person multiplayer experiences, which is like Mafia or Werewolf or any of those like kind of like in-person games that we played, and so it kind of just takes that and makes it virtual, which has a nostalgia level and like there's just so many factors here that is like holy shit, like this game is I think it's going to be here to stay, especially for multiplayer heads, people who love to play with friends. This is always going to be in their arsenal.
Right. I agree, and I think it's one of these games where, like I said, it may, although it may not have the same pedigree or hype that it once had later down the road, it's still going to be a game that's going to be revered and remembered for the impact that it had and what it's. I mean, I also say short amount of time, but shit, it's still going. So.
Oh yeah, no, very much so. It is still growing. I mean, it's one of the most watched streams on Twitch, and it's one of our most watched streams as well.
Yeah.
So we definitely may play Among Us again.
For sure.
Well, that takes us to number 6 on our list this week. And Bronwyn, you have us at number 6, and it is a legendary one indeed. What is number 6 on our countdown this week?
Number 6 this week is World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, also known as WoW, is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game that came out in 2004. This is one of the highest grossing video games of all, over 100 million accounts registered as of 2014. The world in which this game encompasses is boundless, full of intricate lore, history, politics, and magic. As vast as the game itself are the options for the game experience. You build your character from the ground up, from race to skill set. You decide what journey you want. You can even restart the game with a brand new character and have a totally different experience playing. One of the unique attributes of this game is the social aspect. You're dropped into an online world with real players you can interact with in so many different ways. You can form raid groups with up to 30 people. And what's so neat about that is that everyone on the group has their own, or in this team has their own specific role. So they really need to work together in order to succeed. It's a good way to stay connected. My roommate, actually, his girlfriend lives in Amsterdam. So the way that they hang out the most is in WoW. They get on WoW dates and they like play games together. It's super cute. So it's a way to like stay connected with people. A lot of people even meet and form friendships in this universe. So yeah, I mean, I've had multiple different characters and explored different aspects of the world. It's really fun. Have you ever wowed or been in the world of Warcraft?
Leroy Jenkins. No, I don't. That's automatically what I think of when I think of a World of Warcraft, and that moment is why I regret never getting into it. But no, I think I never got into it because I think I was scared of what might happen to me. I get pretty obsessive, especially with games like this. So I'm pretty sure this would have consumed me.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I never got into WoW. I'm glad I never had a computer that allowed me to play it in a way, because I think like I was always a console guy up until the last like pretty much year or so whenever I first built a PC, and so like it's one of those where like I've always been a console guy, so I never had a computer that would really allow me to play WoW. But I know that if I did, I would have spent hours into it. But I did dive into WoW Classic last year, whenever Blizzard released it, and so I dove in, trickled my toes in a little bit. But it was a fun game. I mean, I could definitely see the hype essentially,
Yeah.
and so like that's why I immediately was like, thank God I did not play this because I would have never had a life as a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I would have less. So
you would have negative life. You would
negative life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still be on WoW right now. I would be the guy from South Park that's like, that would be me, literally in real life, like sitting on my couch. Like that's how it would have played out. And I'm a realist, so I know that's true.
Know yourself.
But that's I mean, WoW is an awesome number 6. I mean, wow. So let's go. Let's go right to number 5 on our list, which falls on to me, and it's the Halo series. As I might have alluded to earlier, I like Halo a lot, a good bit even, more than your average bear. Rather you had an 8v8 in big team battle or a classic 4v4 Slayer, Halo is etched in our memories when it comes to multiplayer games. Even as the series progressed and moved online, it's always had this co-op ready campaign for you and your friends to just dive into. And if you've never played the final levels of Halo 3 on Legendary, as Kevin alluded to earlier, you have not lived, my friend. And so Halo was one of the early LAN party goats. And if you're too young to remember what a LAN party is, you're just going to have to give that one a Google and try to make sense of the photos that you see. I could do an entire deep dive into the importance of Halo to me and to the video game and multiplayer, just in general. But we'll save that for whenever Halo Infinite comes out because Halo never dies, baby. Kevin, do you remember your first big team battle and what did you think of it?
First things first, rest in peace, Sergeant Johnson. Yes, of course I do. Like so many memories from Halo 1 all the way to 3. I remember Halo, like they were the first one to really establish matchmaking. Halo 2, and then the co-op, their campaigns. The fact that they had an amazing campaign, they told a story, they implemented co-op, and then they had multiplayer. Like this game just literally checked every single box as to why you needed to have it. And
it was constantly taking wins.
Yes, no, it was never losing, even up to like Halo Reach. Like this game was always getting W's. It was so amazing. It's one of the I think staples just in gaming lore and history in general. Like you can't talk about games or do a game montage without having a few clips of Master Chief in there.
No, exactly.
Yeah, and then the impact it had on multiplayer, like I said, it basically created matchmaking.
No, it did. Halo 2 is basically like for what matchmaking should be in an online setting, especially. I don't think a lot of people realize that, especially when it came to shooters, there really wasn't a lot of online multiplayer kind of going on before Halo came along and really pushed that envelope. And it was because of the LAN parties before it. Or not Sony, but Microsoft saw what we were doing together, like hooking up, like with internet cables and trying to play each other in Halo Combat Evolved. And so when they rolled out Halo 2 and they had, the ability to go online, they really pushed the envelope. And when you think about it, it's known as, when I was doing a little research into this top 10, there's even this thing out there called the Halo effect, which basically meant that when Halo first came out, every game studio was trying to come out with its Halo killer.
Yeah,
and true. So like they were constantly trying to come out with like what's going to kill Halo. And it's funny that we're still talking about the newest Halo that's going to be coming out early next year because it's obvious that nothing really did it. Master Chief's still alive today. And
have you played Halo? Nothing kills Master Chief.
Exactly. Bron, I know you're a Sony head. Did you ever get a chance to play any big matches of Halo?
I actually did. Not so much like the online matches, but the like couch
campaign
sort of style games. I don't know what it is, but because a lot of friends would have this system, we'd be like hanging out at a party or something, and be like, "Oh, like let's play some Halo." Like,
it's definitely
experiences playing.
Well, it's just one of those that is, like I said, it's always going to be ingrained in the culture of multiplayer gaming. So that's why it definitely makes number 5 here, middle of the way on our list. But there are a few that stand above it, and one of those is number 4 because that's how numbers work. And Kev, you have number 4 on the list for us. What is popping up at number 4 on our list this week?
Yes, League of Legends, Jake. When you say MOBA, the first thing that comes to mind has to be League of Legends. League of Legends is often cited as the world's largest esport with an international competitive scene. The 2019 League of Legends World Championship had over 100 million unique viewers, peaking at a concurrent viewership of 44 million with a minimum prize pool of 2.5 million US dollars. The game has a large following on streaming platforms such as YouTube and Twitch, and its popularity has led to merchandise and tie-ins such as spin-off games and music videos, comic books, short stories, collectible figurines, and an upcoming animated series. Promotional material for in-game cosmetics have attracted mainstream attention such as KDA, a virtual K-pop girl group composed of 4 leagues champions. Bron, what's your role in this MOBA party? Do you get on League of Legends?
Yeah. I'm usually botting as Miss Fortune. I actually this year had the opportunity to go to a League of Legends championship
Oh,
game
shit.
before everything
Nice.
shut down. It was like right before everything shut down, and that was so much fun. Oh my gosh, getting to go to their center, and before the game started, like you can go in their sort of computer lounge and play there, like access to all the characters and skins, and you immediately get on your account like all these cool perks for the time being of being there. You don't get it unlimited time, like for unlimited time, but still it was really cool, and being able to just see that competitive nature of it, see these teams with their players and all their swag and gear like going up on stage, and these really intense like fans cheering in the tournament style. It was wild. It was so fun.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, I've seen videos of different League of Legends, competitions and everything, and it's huge, man. Its international appeal is even larger, and that's another Blizzard game, I believe, right? Like the same as World of Warcraft. These guys just know online, and Overwatch is another one that I think would make a more honorable mention, or it may be number 1. You don't know. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But no, League is one that I know tons of people who play it. I know tons of people who pour hours into it, and it's one that I never really got into myself. But it's still etched in like massive online multiplayer kind of like history, right?
Yeah,
you couldn't have a list like this without it.
No, it has to be here. It has to be here.
And speaking of games that necessarily have to be on multiplayer top list of all time. Bron, what do you have for us at number 3 this week?
Number 3, I have a 2-part number 3 with Mario.
A twofer?
A twofer, yeah. I have a Mario Party and a Mario Kart. Brought to you by Nintendo, Mario Party lets you and your friends play as your favorite Mario characters in a board game style video game full of mini games and challenges. So much fun. Jake, you were just saying you had a Mario Party party. How was that?
Oh yeah, dude. We literally, I've played it both on the Switch version, but then my favorite is to go back to the GameCube. Mario Party 3 is like the GOAT Mario Party game in my opinion, and it's only on GameCube. And it has some of the best mini games. Everything's kind of just set up my favorite. So we always bust out the GameCube controllers, hand them out around, and try their best to start up a Mario Party anytime we have a chance. It's one of the few couch co-ops games you can still play.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
And now that Kev has a Switch, we can all maybe stream a Mario Party. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Dodd has a Switch too, so.
That's gotta happen. Like I think the last time I played Mario Party was in the office with you, Jake. And it's like years ago, but Mario Parties. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a board game and a competitive video game. Like it's everything you need. It's yeah.
Well,
Chef's kiss.
Included in this number 3, we still have Mario Kart, which also takes its flagship characters and puts them in a different wacky situation, this time as race car drivers. It was inaugurated in 1992, but since then has seen many iterations with new characters and new tracks. When I first think of Mario Kart, what comes to mind is this psychedelic and spaced out Rainbow Road. But what's the first thing that you guys think of?
Blue shells.
Blue
Oh god. Right.
Yeah, blue shells. I was gonna say Rainbow Road, but then the blue shells. I had the PTSD from the blue shells. Like
Well,
yeah,
if you're ever one of those that's in first place, and I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm all right at Mario Kart, and so if you're riding out in first place, you see the finish line in front of you, and then all of a
yeah,
sudden you hear it. You can hear it coming, and I'm glad that
yeah,
the newest version does have a somewhat of a counter. If you have the speaker on you, you can blast it, and it'll
yeah,
make it go all way. But
yeah,
that's been the first game that's ever allowed a counter to the blue shell. The blue shell has always been the end all be all. You
yeah,
are fucked, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
And
such a
so,
yeah,
good way to flex and also say what you
yeah,
like what comes to mind.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
oh my god,
Yeah, but I think Mario Kart's just one of those games again. I think it's one of those classes that's never gonna go anywhere. Like my Switch actually came with Mario Kart, so I even played a little bit then, like just by
nice.
myself. Yeah, just going on. Yeah, having a nice little nostalgia trip and enjoying the sort of new I guess rehashed version of Mario Kart, if you will. And it's one of these games that just doesn't get old. It's fun. You can pick it up anytime you're bored and just have a blast, especially with other people. It's always more competitive with other people, and it's one of those games that
Oh
anybody can
yeah,
pick up. I think that's what makes it so great.
yeah. Gamers from a beginner to intermediate, medium. Anybody can really pick up Mario Kart or Mario Party for that matter. These games, like, are there like pro moves, just like Smash and other games? Yeah, of course, right. But it's
Right.
still like any Nintendo game that could be picked up by any casual gamer, and I think that says a lot for why it has such a huge multiplayer appeal.
Yeah.
Um, but speaking of massive multiplayer appeal, number two on our countdown this week, and we are almost there, folks, is GoldenEye. Developed by Rare back in 1997 and based on the 1995 hit 007 GoldenEye. GoldenEye for Nintendo 64 is known as the GOAT when it comes to multiplayer games for the most part, even though it wound up at number two on this list. So you're definitely going to have to buckle up for what number one is. GoldenEye 007 is considered an important game in history of first-person shooters for demonstrating the viability of the game console as platforms for the genre and for signaling transition from the then standard Doom-like approach to a more realistic-looking game style. So it pioneered features such as atmospheric single-player missions, stealth elements, and the thing that we all remember it most for, a console multiplayer deathmatch mode, right? At the time, GoldenEye 007 was considered the best multiplayer game on the system, edging Mario Kart just by a single hair, according to IGN. Edge called it addictive, the originality of some of the scenarios and the multiplayer game mode called You Only Live Twice. GamePro said that the multiplayer modes will have you shooting your friends for the rest of the year. But needless to say, it had us shooting our friends in GoldenEye tournaments for the rest of our lives because GoldenEye is still very popular around the U.S. to this day. But even though a lot of people would call it the GOAT, only one ranks higher in this list. And Kevin, I believe you have our number one. What is that one?
I do, Jake. Sure no one will be surprised by this, but it is Smash Bros. And of course, the GOAT, Smash Bros. Yes, yes, yes. Whether it's Melee, Ultimate, or the OG on the 64, Smash Bros. Is a timeless classic, and not just in the multiplayer genre, but the fighting game genre as well. Who doesn't love to use iconic Nintendo characters in an ultimate bout of fisticuffs? Ganon versus Bowser, Zelda versus Kirby, and finally versus Sonic. That was so amazing when we got that, guys. The possibilities are endless now. The game has evolved over the years too, from the ability to import and use your Mii in the game to a constant and steady stream of DLC fighters. Smash Bros is the gold standard when it comes to multiplayer games, and one could argue possibly it's one of the greatest fighting games of all time. Smash isn't just a couch hangout and beat 'em up. It's recently established a strong competitive online and esports presence as well. With longevity, multiple iterations, and innovative evolutions of this franchise, it's easy to see why Smash Bros. Is number one in our top Zen this week. Brian, Jake, is there any disputing this?
I don't think so. I think Lucifer thinks so, though. We're getting some tension over here.
I saw, yeah.
Minecraft, and I'm sorry to say I've never played Minecraft, so that's probably why I didn't put it on the list.
Yeah, definitely
man.
honorable mention.
Yeah, I didn't know Minecraft was multiplayer, but that shows you how little I played Minecraft. Really got to get back on there.
To be fair, we almost left off GoldenEye for like the last second. We were wrapping it up. I was like, it looks good. And I was like, holy shit, GoldenEye. We're gonna put Halo on here, but not GoldenEye. That can't happen.
No, exactly. There is no Halo without GoldenEye. Like, really, there's not.
There's no FPS without GoldenEye.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, just the kind of competitive multiplayer games in general, like that's why we had to put Smash at number one, because it led to it helped bring the genre of fighting games into a completely different audience than what played it before, right? And so that's why Smash is the GOAT. And honestly, it's on our top 10s are always just kind of like our own personal opinions, first off, guys. So if you think Minecraft should have been on the list, please go put as many comments as you can. That helps views.
Yeah.
And so just let us know like how angry you are about what else should have been in the top 10, because there are a lot that I know that we missed that people look up to. But for me, and I think for everybody here, Smash is a hard one to argue with being the number one. Like it's definitely like, you may be able to argue 2 through 10, but at the end of the day, Smash is one of the GOATest. It's the GOAT of all GOATs when it comes to multiplayer games, in my opinion.
Right. I agree. It's again, all the boxes we were debating earlier in the deep dive whether or not a party game is a multiplayer game. Well, Smash is both of those things. It is a couch game. It is a party game. It is an online game. It's esports. It checks every multiplayer box, and it's probably some would say, again, one of the greatest fighting games of all time. So you put all that together, it has to make number one.
And like I was saying earlier, with classic Nintendo, kind of like ways, they were able to make a game that can be picked up by, your little cousin, whatever, but then also can be played at a professional fucking level.
Right.
Like, I know a dude and beat guys with like one hand and phrasing.
Yeah.
But that is it for our top Zen this week. Do any of you guys have anything else you want to add for Smash or any of the other ones before we go into some of these honorable mentions?
Oddjob was my main in GoldenEye. That's all. I was slaying people with that hat.
Oddjob was the GOAT. Because he was too short. Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
That's why in some tournaments. Yeah, in some tournaments you can't use Oddjob because he's too short, and there's actually it's hard to like aim down and shoot at him. So
Right.
But anything from you, Braun?
No.
Smash.
Who did I play in Smash? I'm always Link.
Let's You're always Link.
I got Link. He's nice. What I play. Or sometimes I'll play as Samus.
Those are good ones.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I was a Ike, Marth, and I think and Lucario main. I was Captain Falcon in the OG, but he wasn't. Oh, sorry, Fox. I can't forget Fox McCloud. Damn, I use a bunch of people, guys. But Ike is my go-to when I really want to fuck people up.
I'm a heavy. I like DK. I like Bowser, but I've always I always get shit on because my favorite character of all time is Kirby. I know I get beat, but I love rocking people with Kirby, man. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. Well, that wraps up our top Zen for this week. A few of our honorable mentions. Cape really wanted us to put in Dead by Daylight. I know, dude, Cape loves that game, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. I definitely got to jump into it as well. Guitar Hero and Rock Band, which like I know.
Oh yeah.
Rock Band, Guitar Hero, those were always huge for multiplayer. Just Dance and Dance Dance Revolution, I think, would also fit into that one, Bronwyn. So that's always a fun multiplayer one there. I know how you said you love the dancing games.
I dominate in a Just Dance. Seriously, guys, you do not want to play me. I was a leader. I remember choreography really easily. I will destroy you.
She said that way too confidently.
Good to know. Yeah, she was way too ready. Yeah,
right.
Splatoon, which is a huge multiplayer game that I know a lot of people love, and there's obviously Splatoon was even made it into the recent Smash. We also have Evolve, Gears of War, Apex Legends, Fall Guys, Ark Survival, Minecraft. Also made our Lucifer. Lucifer was upset. It made it. It was in our honor. Vengeance. And Kev just added Left 4 Dead, which I think that's obviously one of the other ones that is a huge multiplayer game that everybody loves. Scary games have really taken off in the multiplayer genre, right? And so,
especially for
You need
co-op.
someone to go through that with you.
yeah, you need someone to deal with that trauma with you, right? And so,
Right. Precisely.
that about wraps it up for this episode of Geek Life. We all hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed spending the evening with myself, Bronwyn, Kevin, everybody here. I always have a lot of fun hosting for us, and so if you liked anything that you saw here today, remember to follow us at Geek Life Live on all of our socials, and then you can follow us on our personal socials. And what are those again? What's yours, Bronwyn? Tell the audience.
Space Nymph, come follow me on Instagram.
Nice. And what about you, Kev? Where can they follow you at?
It's totally awesome. I may not be pointing at it, but it's fine. And Kevin Todd Jr. on the other socials as well.
Awesome. And you can always check out Geek Life content and anywhere. We have it on the YouTubes, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the Twitters. Like we got content for days. We got content. We got new content. We got young content. We got old content again. So we got all the content that you
wide
need.
spectrum.
Yeah, wide spectrum of content, and so definitely come check it out. I want to give a big special shout out to our moderator, Littlest Nelly. She's always here, and Bruce Bain, aka the Dodd. Yeah, he was here the whole time in the chat. You knew it. He just didn't go by the name the Dodd on it. And so, definitely thank you everyone for tuning in. Oh yeah, and also special shout out to our video producer Cape, who always makes sure that the show is running superb. And it turns out he knew my camera was moving the whole time earlier. He did that on purpose. It was testing y'all, making sure you.
I have another shout out before we head out. I want to shout out Jake, whose birthday was last week. Happy birthday!
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Jake.
Thank you. I try. Like I said, I'm getting very old, but it's okay because I grew up on the internet, and so none of us will ever age. I'm still going to play video games well into my old age, and I will always be Thraxing kids. So we'll be back next week, same place, same time for all the nerdy news that you need to know. Until then, be sure to give us a follow, watch that content, and just let us know what you think about the show in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. And keep talking in the chat afterwards. We really don't care. But thank you for your time, and have a great evening, everyone. See you next week. Peace.
Goodbye now.